All right, you're single, you're dating, but you're not having much fun. So how do you get out of the relationship rut? Let's ask Andrea Syrtash, author of He's Just Not Your Type, and that's a good thing. Also with us this morning, relationship expert Ian Kerner. Good morning to you both.
Hey, good morning.
All right, Andrea, let's get right into this because you say date a non-type.
Yes.
What is that?
So a non-type is a guy who's not on your usual checklist of what you're looking for. So if you usually go for extroverts, a non-type would be an introvert. Or if you say, I would never date anyone long distance, your non-type may be across the country. Put simply, though, if you keep dating the same type of person, my premise is quite easy. You have to try something new because your match may be actually the one you haven't tried dating yet.
And do you agree? Because if he's not what I want, why should I shoot for that?
Yeah, well, I agree that it's nice to expand your boundaries a little bit, but, I think sometimes you hear the word type and you think, oh, bad boy or bad girl, and you're just dating the same person over and over again. But I want to say that sometimes having a type is a good thing. It's sort of the person that you're kind of usually, the type you're usually attracted to, the type whom you share values with. Maybe you have similar lifestyle. So I think having a type and seeking out your type sometimes can be a really positive thing.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, but some will argue, though, Andrea, look, you're asking people to just settle. Settle for what they don't really want.
Absolutely not. Actually, I've dedicated the book to women who should never feel like they have to settle when they settle down. I think we're settling actually when we're just checking off superficial, boxes on a checklist. And to your point, Ian, I think it's absolutely about core values and important criteria. But sometimes we're so focused on the paper checklist, we miss our match because of that. So that's really the heart of my book.
Do you agree that it may be possibly settling, or should you reconsider what you're looking for?
Well, I think it's a little of both. I mean, I think the reality of the dating world today is it's very hard, especially for single women. I meet, confident, attractive, educated, successful single women all the time who just, they would love to meet their type, and they're not. And so they do need to change their approach, and they do need to change their philosophy. On the other hand, you can't just change your type out of pressure, because then you are just settling. So I think, it's kind of getting out of that headspace of pressure.
I know when I talk to my girlfriends, a lot of them say, oh, I want him to be funny, I want him to be kind, but a lot of them will be very truthful. He has to be good looking, he's got to be successful. Andrea, you say, forget about it. Don't even go down that road.
Well, definitely you should be attracted to the person, and I want to qualify something. If you're annoyed by the person, you're turned off by the person, don't date that person. But I'm simply saying that it has to transcend those things. Tall, dark, rich, handsome, those are great things. But if you don't have more than that, you may actually wake up in an unfulfilling relationship.
Yeah, on the other hand, you really have to look at where do you share values. I mean, if you have material goals and you're dating a starving artist type, it might not end up, working out in the long run. I mean, let's be honest, most divorces in this country, the #1 reason for divorce are financial issues. So it is important to really be aligned around some of those core values like money. If you don't feel that click of chemistry, that click of attraction, that might be a bad thing because,
I know it's so.
I know with my wife, if she didn't have that little click of attraction, like
what's there?
She would have been out of there a long time ago.
But here's the thing about money. I think it's not that the guy has money, it's how he is with money that we should be looking at. And looks and money are the most dynamic factors that we can invest in. So there's no saying if you meet a guy with a great job who looks a certain way that will withstand the test of time. So what I'm simply saying is definitely check off those boxes that your values are aligned and that you're attracted. But it has to go deeper than that.
Gotcha. A lot of women grow up with that fairy tale, that Prince Charming who has absolutely everything. So as we listen to this, what should be the new checklist? Yes.
Well, I came up with a number of checklists in the book to help guide women towards their match. So by all means, I think checklists are great. One of the checklists I came up with is called the 4 essential ingredients. And that is the person a good partner, lover, companion, and friend? And I think if
I
you
didn't hear
could
looks
check
or
off,
money anywhere in there.
It's not in there, and bonus points if you have that. But I think if you have those 4 ingredients, you're already on your way to a successful relationship.
I would just add to that humor, like really being able to laugh your way out of a situation. Humor is essential. I think also having a balancing personality. Like my wife and I, we don't stress about the same things, so I can sort of bring her down when she's getting a little tense, and she can do the same with me. So just having balancing personalities.
Ian, let me ask you this. A lot of women kind of get into this rut in the sense of that's who I'm looking for. It's hard for me to break out of that because that's what I'm attracted to. So how do you change that?
Well, you know, Socrates said an unexamined life is not worth living. And I think an unexamined relationship is not worth reliving. And so if you are single, if you are between relationships, I think getting a book like Andrea's that has some of these checklists that sort of helps you to look in the mirror and break some of those patterns is important. And the other thing is we all get lonely. We all want to be in relationships, and you can't act out of that, just that feeling of loneliness.
Yeah. Learn from your mistakes, possibly.
Learn from your mistakes. Know your dating pattern. If your dating life were a movie, what would it be called? How would it begin and end? What character
it's not
do
a
you
horror
play?
film.
Yeah.
All right,
it's not.
Andrea.
Hopefully it's a romance.
Ian, thank you so much. Yeah,
Thank you.
hopefully it is a romance.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.